Welcome back to The Outright Effect, a podcast in which unique perspectives challenge us to be better versions of ourselves. I'm Shelly.
And I'm Tempsy.
And today we are kind of turning the tables here, I guess you could say. Whereas in a previous episode, Tempsy asked me 21 questions about myself and we had a sort of bonus round. I'm going to be asking her the questions today.
Woohoo!
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So question number 1. You probably get this question a lot, but how did you get your name?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, my mom wanted something unique, and my dad would just make things up as they went along. So they were going down Templin Highway up the Grapevine, put T-E-M-P, added an S-Y, and that's the only one she liked. Can you tell I've said that story like a billion times?
Yes, it's rehearsed a little bit, but that's fine. I mean, it is an interesting story, and it's a lot of information in there, so I'm sure you had to summarize over the years.
I had to make it really concise, because working in the restaurant industry, people would ask, and at one point I changed my name tag to my middle name so that I wouldn't have to keep saying it.
All right, second question. What are 3 of your strengths?
Ooh, strengths. It's always easier for me to explain my weaknesses. I always say that my conceptual understanding is pretty good. I'm kind of a jack of all trades, and I can catch on to things pretty quickly, although I will say starting a podcast and the technical aspect of it has definitely been a bit of a challenge. But in general, I catch on pretty quickly, so I like that about myself. I'm very empathetic towards people. That's been looked upon as a negative thing in the past, but I've learned to understand that you can never be too empathetic. But it does wear on your feelings and your emotions quite a bit. And so sometimes it is a bit exhausting, I guess, to say that. What else? Another strength. I'm really good at fixing things. So not in, the physical way, putting, hammer to nail, but processes, making things more efficient, like at work in a professional setting. And my challenge is to apply that skill to things at home that would help my family. So that's something that, if I was really being intentional about it, I probably could be doing a better job at that. See, I always pick out the negatives. I can never just stick with the positives.
All right. Question number 3. Tell us about an event or experience that has required the most courage of you in your life so far.
Ooh, the most courage. I think when I started working, one of my first jobs, like we had talked about before, was Miller's Outpost. And I really wanted to become a manager. And so I asked my boss about it. And this is kind of that young courage where nothing kind of like, you have no fear at that age, right. Really. Mm-hmm. And so when I asked my boss, like, what do I need to do to become a manager? She was like, well, you're really timid and you need to work on that. And you can't be a manager until you're 18. And that feedback hurt, but instead of just like letting it get me down, I picked it up and said, okay, I'm going to work on this and get better. But I think that, fearless courage of just like asking. Mm-hmm. And I don't feel like I have that as much anymore. Like just asking for something. Yeah.
I think as adults, we lose that.
Yeah. Cause like, the fear of getting that rejection.
We've had too many experiences of, exactly. Having the no. So
I'm sure there are others, but I can't think of any. That was just the first one that popped in my head.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Question number 4. What is something that you want to work on in 2020?
In 2020, I want to work on being more present, especially with my family. And I tend to find myself, thinking about a lot of different things at once, work, the podcast, a lot of different things. And also like, how am I going to better myself? And then I'm not actually present with my family. And I want to continue sticking with my little goals that I set up for the year. And, I do that throughout the year. Mm-hmm. So just sticking with that and catching up on old ones is going to be important.
Yeah, cool. All right. Question number 5. Where is one place you would take an out-of-town guest if they come to visit you here in Hawaii?
I think doing the Circle Island trip is probably the most beneficial. If I had to choose one place, it would probably be Lanikai, just because it's a really nice beach. It can tend to be a little bit windy, but the sand is really nice, even though it gets stuck everywhere. It's really nice sand, beautiful water. It's just a really nice place to be. And that's where I took a lot of my family when they came for my wedding.
Cool.
Yeah.
For people who don't know what the Circle Island trip is, what is that?
That's where you take your car and you get everybody in it and you drive around the island. You can't drive completely around the island, but you take a certain route. There's two ways to go, basically, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you visit the shrimp trucks. You go to the North Shore. You're
kind of like coming down around the coast essentially and hitting up all the spots on the way.
Exactly. Yeah. Dole Cannery, all those things. So it's a good experience for people who've never been here.
Yeah. You get all the good places in one go.
Exactly.
Probably takes a good chunk of the day though.
Yes, it does.
All right. Question number 6. Are you the first to jump on something or do you wait until later?
I wait until later. I want to see how it pans out. I'm thinking more of things like the iPhone or new technology. I want to make sure other people work through the kinks. Those folks who like to jump on things right at the beginning, they like doing that stuff. So I like letting them. And then once the kinks are all worked out, then I'll jump on. And that goes with trends and fashion and things like that. Like I'm not a fashion forward person. I don't have an eye for it. And so I'll see what ends up being the trend or things like that, and then I'll see, okay, well, what do I really like it? If I don't, then I won't do it, but if I do, then I will.
You want to read the reviews first.
Yes, exactly.
Got it. All right, number 7. Tell us your favorite dish to cook.
My favorite dish to cook. Ooh, this is a good one. I think just because I kind of figured it out by myself, taking some of the training I've had and some of the research I've done, I kind of created my own version of a vegan gravy. So I like making the vegetarian loco moco that I make for my family. It does take time, so I don't do it often, but I actually like the process, and I like actually writing down what I used and solidifying it as this is the right thing.
Yep.
It's the right recipe.
Got it. All right. Question number 8. If you were on a deserted island, what are 5 things you would take with you?
Oh, this one's hard. If I were on a deserted island, I would take with me, I've watched a lot of Naked and Afraid, so I would take a fire starter.
Okay.
I would take a machete. I would say bug repellent, but it wouldn't last the whole time probably.
That's true, yeah.
So there are other ways of doing that. A pot for boiling water. All of the normal things and something to carry stuff with. But probably pretty boring stuff, just stuff that would keep me alive.
Yeah.
But even though I watch those shows, I don't necessarily think I could survive just because I get the creepy crawlies with all the little creepy crawlies around, and I don't think I could kill anything, but if I had to, maybe I would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, that's
For
a real
survival.
basic
Yeah.
answer for survival purposes, but I want to make sure I stay alive, I guess.
All right, question number 9. Is there a female celebrity that you would like to meet?
I'm sure. A female celebrity that I'd like to meet would probably be Brené Brown. A lot of her literature and speaking engagements, like there's one on Netflix right now, have been really insightful. And it would be nice to have her, to be able to pick her brain and like kind of set out the things that I'm a little bit confused about in life and things that she talks about and vulnerability and those types of things that I would want to pick her brain a little bit on that.
Cool. I still have yet to watch her thing on Netflix.
It's
I will
great.
one of these days.
It's really good. I highly suggest it to anybody. Listen to her book. I listen to audiobooks, so I've listened to a couple of her books. It's really good.
Cool. All right, number 10. What's the talent that you wish you had or want to develop?
Dancing and singing.
So you can be on Glee? Just kidding.
I mean, I don't really necessarily want any fame. I'm amazed by those types of people who can just dance and sing and have this amazing talent. And I would love to have that. Either of those skills or both. Yeah.
And that would be really fun too.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And you'd stay fit if you were a dancer. So doing something fun.
Okay, next question. If you could retire today, what would you want to do with yourself every day?
I have thought a lot about this. I would probably want to be able to take care of my family, travel, and my husband and I probably are going to open up a nonprofit where we support kids with extracurriculars. Things like he wants to, eventually get really good and coach jujitsu. I want to get really good and coach soccer. And then if it were to be some big warehouse where kids could, get away from their troubles at home, underprivileged children or children at risk, that'd be able to, use this as an outlet. And I think that us having, if there was no barriers, rainbows and butterflies, we had the biggest budget in the world, that's probably what we'd do with our time every day.
Cool. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, number 12. What type of movie would you say your life is? Action, adventure, comedy, thriller?
Honestly, probably a romantic comedy, because my husband and I like to have a lot of fun, and he's a very thoughtful and romantic person. Like, don't get me wrong, our marriage isn't perfect. We argue just like everybody else, but when it comes down to it, my husband is a really thoughtful and romantic person, and we just laugh a lot and we compete to be the funniest person. So, yeah. I think romantic comedy would be the closest. Not necessarily action adventure. I wish, but no.
Number 13. Let's say you just won the lottery. What's the first thing you would do?
Invest. I'd buy a bigger home. We've actually talked about this just to make sure we're on the same page. We would definitely buy a home for ourselves, something comfortable and not too extravagant, and then we would invest, whether that be in businesses or property, whatever the case might be. And then in terms of giving back would be that what I spoke about earlier about the children's facility for underprivileged youth.
Mm-hmm. So I know we talked about what you'd want to do if you were retired. But what would your ideal day be today?
Today, do I have all the money in the world and don't have to work?
Sure.
Okay. Ideally, I would like to wake up casually, but kind of early, work out in the morning, and then, be able to make breakfast for my kid and have a nice casual morning taking him to school. If I had all the money in the world, I would pay somebody to do my hair and makeup every day. I actually we had this conversation too. Like, if we won the lottery, the one splurge item that I would have is having somebody do my hair and makeup every day, because I just, it's the worst. I hate getting ready in the morning. I just want to be like talking to my kid while somebody else does my hair, like just having a casual conversation with him once he is able to have a casual conversation, and just be done with getting ready already. Like that's ideal
easiest
to me.
Getting ready routine.
Exactly. And
someone
then,
else does it for you.
Yeah. And then actually after I drop my kid off at school, I want to either be working on our own business, mine and my husband's business, or doing something philanthropically. I don't know. Doing something for others, like running that facility or something like that.
All right, number 15. What is your favorite TV show and why?
Oh, that's pretty easy. That's Big Bang Theory.
And why?
I just think that there are several episodes in which I have multiple belly laughs, but it's smart. Like, they have a physicist consultant on the show that actually tells them what they're really talking about, and all of the math that they have on their boards is real, and I just think is really smart. You don't know exactly what they're talking about sometimes, but you get that it's funny, if that makes sense, and you actually end up learning. Yeah, it's weird, but I just think that show is really funny. I love it.
Cool. I have yet to watch that, actually. Oh. I don't even know what it's on.
Oh, we just record it. We don't know when anything's on. That's probably the only show my husband and I watch together.
Like, you can't stream it, though, right?
I don't think so, no.
Yeah.
No, we just record it on cable.
Yep. I no longer have TV, so I guess that's out. Number 16. What do you like about your life right now?
I really love my job. I love what I'm doing. I'm doing things to help other people. do their jobs really well to help the community. And I love my family dynamic right now. I think that I'm finally getting used to having a child and just the busyness that comes with that. It's inevitable, and I think it takes some people a lot of time to get used to. I love how things are panning out and how things are changing for us as a family and the family dynamic.
Cool.
And I like that I'm doing a podcast.
Yep. Yay. All right, number 17. Do you sing in the shower?
Absolutely. 100%. I sing in the shower. I sing in the car. And my son goes, "No, mommy, no sing."
That's pretty funny.
It may not be good, but
it's just not the song he wants to hear.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Number 18. How old were you when you first learned how to ride a bike?
I have no idea. I was pretty young, though. I must have been 5 or 6. It's probably the typical time people start riding a bike. But I do remember my dad telling me this story, because that's a really boring answer. My dad told me this story that I was playing with a friend outside and she wouldn't let me ride her bike. And so I told her, "I'm not going to be your friend if you don't let me ride your bike." And my dad heard it and told me, "Tempsy, get your ass in here." And I knew I was in trouble. I immediately started crying.
You can't say that to people.
I would never act like that in front of him. That's why he was probably like, "Get your ass in here." That's funny.
Number 19. What's the first thing you do when you wake up?
The first thing I do when I wake up is I sneak out of my room, because my son has probably gotten in there at some time during the night and I don't want to wake him. And I just go into the bathroom, start brushing my teeth, washing my face, putting my contacts in.
And getting ready.
I don't even check my phone until I'm done getting ready. I know a lot of people, the first thing they do is check their phones, but I have no interest in my phone first thing in the morning because it's so bright and you're just trying to open your eyes. But eventually, halfway through getting ready, I'll maybe turn on a podcast or something to, cover up the silence.
All right, number 20. What is your favorite way to pass time?
I really enjoy spending time with my family. I find myself, I see every once in a while I'm on social media and I see people posting a lot of stuff and I'm like, maybe I should be posting stuff more. And then I'm like, I don't know, maybe if I'm not posting, I'm actually practicing being present. I'm actually here. So I don't really worry about it too much. I think that it was hard for me to just spend time with my family. I needed more time to myself just because it's so new and different and life altering that it was tough for me at first. But now, it's not like I didn't enjoy hanging out with my family. It's just, it was all the time and I just wasn't used to it, especially because before I had a family, my husband worked at night. So we only saw each other really on the weekends. It was just a really big jolt for me. And so now I just love, anytime I'm not with my family, I'm like, I wish I was with my son and my husband and just laughing and joking around and playing. So I think, that and maybe traveling.
Yeah, cool. All right. Number 21. Have you ever won a contest or received an award for something?
I did win one contest, and it was at my old job. I had sourced the most number of candidates. So I had been on LinkedIn and Indeed searching for candidates that could come in and work at the company. And I got the most out of everybody and won this big gift, not a basket, but those collapsible crates that you can get at Costco. They had that collapsed with a bottle
full
of
of
wine and some other stuff on it, and I won that. That was cool.
That's cool.
I'm sure I've won one more thing, but nothing extravagant or crazy. Oh no, at that same company, I think I won a Neighbor Island trip.
Oh,
as a raffle.
Yeah,
that's
pretty good. Raffle.
Yeah, that was great. I won that.
Okay, bonus question.
Okay.
If you had to only use 3 seasonings to cook with, what would they be?
Garlic, salt. There's that garlic salt mixture from Costco. I use that. Ground pepper. And
You're like, wait, now garlic and salt are 2 different things. Just kidding.
No. Well, sometimes if I don't use garlic salt, I'll use Himalayan salt. So that's, I guess, the other one, but I wouldn't use them together. Is kind of what I was thinking about. But then if I wasn't going to say that, I would have a really hard time picking one because I love basil, oregano that I use for pastas, for red sauce. I love basil leaves or bay leaves, I mean. So it was going to be hard at that point. So I'll just say garlic salt,
And pepper.
ground pepper, and then Himalayan salt when I'm not going to use garlic salt.
Okay. All right. So in the episode that we recorded earlier where I answered the 21 questions, we had a little like this or that, I guess. I don't know what to call it.
Yeah.
So Tempsy found one for me to ask her, and I'm going to guess which one she would choose. So there are about 7 things here.
Okay.
About traveling. It's called My Travel This or That. It's a template from Canva. All right. So if you had all the time and money in the world, what would be your travel agenda? So the first one is out of the country or within my country. I think you would go out of the country.
Yes,
Cool.
absolutely.
Anywhere in particular?
I'm always happy to go back to Japan, but if I had to pick somewhere I've never been, I definitely want to travel through Europe.
Yeah. Good choices.
Pretty
All right.
straightforward.
Yeah. Second one, go with a group or go solo. I think you would choose go with a group so you could go with your family.
Oh, I was thinking solo was with my family.
Yeah, so that's why I chose that because
Okay,
I was like,
see.
yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely just want to go with my family.
No.
I've traveled with
Yeah.
other people before, and it's not terrible. It's just, the logistics of it. It becomes more stressful than it needs to be.
Right.
So I just
Yep.
rather be.
I read go solo as like totally by yourself. And I
Yeah.
was like, I don't think she wants to go totally by herself. I might want to go somewhere
No,
by
maybe
myself.
one trip by myself. But if you're asking me in general,
Usually, yeah.
Especially if I had all the money in the world, my
Right.
husband and I wouldn't be
They're
working.
extra
so
tickets.
it'd be
Yeah.
weird if
I mean,
myself.
yeah, you could cover that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Out in nature or in the city? I feel like you would choose in nature.
Yeah, I think so, because we live in the city. So I could probably go either way. But if you're asking me my next trip or what I want to do, it would be in nature because we live in the city. I travel to cities every once in a while.
Yep.
So yeah, I'd agree with that.
All right. Next one, take a train or take a plane. Well, we're going to have to take a plane here. So,
No choice. I probably wouldn't take a train anyway. Maybe just one time for the experience. I've done it before in California when I was living there, but
I guess it depends where you are. And
It
can
was-
you get there on a train? Maybe. I mean,
it was just from SoCal to San Diego. Well, that's SoCal too, but from where I live to San Diego, it was like a 2-hour ride. It's this train that
Yeah.
they have going there, and so it was nice, but I think once is good.
All right, next one is travel for food or travel for culture. This one's a little bit hard for me because I know that you have a more clear-cut diet situation nowadays.
Yeah.
So I would say travel for culture.
I would still travel for food. Because, I mean, I can find something anywhere. And if I'm traveling somewhere new, I'm going to forego the diet a little bit. I'm not going to eat meat, but I'm going to probably eat carbs a little bit more to allow myself to experience.
Enjoy and, yeah.
But food can be part of the culture too. So, but I travel for food.
All right, next one is go sightseeing or go shopping. I would say go sightseeing.
It depends on what sites. I'm not a big person on museums and things like that, but nature, beautiful flowers, things like that, or like in Vegas, they have the really nice hotels. I like seeing those types of things. I'm not a huge shopper, so I could see why you would go that way. But if I were say in Japan, it would be
You would wanna go
shocking
shopping.
because I want to go to all the stationery stores. So it just kind of depends. No clear cut answer there, but if I had to choose one, then I would agree. Sightseeing. It just I'd have to dictate what the sites were.
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah, sites you want to see.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so this is the last one. Have an adventure or just relax. I would choose just relax.
Yes. Just relax for sure. It depends on my mood, but I think the default would be just relax.
Yeah, and I mean, this is traveling for vacation, I would assume
Yeah.
too. So one would want to relax.
But I mean, I snowboard and things like
Yeah.
that, when I'm in the snow. So I'm up for some adventure, but I also want to make sure that there is relaxing time so that when I get home, I don't need a vacation for my
From you, right.
vacation.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, those are all the questions.
How do you think it went?
I think that was fun. Did
Me
you like
too.
it?
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was fun. Although some of the questions I was like,
Like, how do I answer this?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I think it was good.
Yeah. Well, I hope all of you enjoyed listening to that too. We thought it was fun and kind of an easy way to get to know us a little bit better. Thanks for listening to this episode of The Outright Effect. You can find us at theoutrighteffect.com, on Instagram and Facebook at The Outright Effect, or email us at theoutrighteffect@gmail.com. See you guys next time.
Bye.